Hi, and welcome to another presentation from your business tutor. Learning your way, anytime, anywhere. The place from where a product is bought is a key aspect in a customer's purchasing decision. This is why this presentation on retailers is so important, as it looks at the crucial role they play in the distribution chain from manufacturer to customer. Okay, so what are we going to learn in this presentation? Well, first of all, we're going to find out what a retailer is. Then we're going on to investigate the advantages and disadvantages of using retailers in product distribution. And then finally, we're going to explore different types of retailer. As we explored in a previous presentation, historically, wholesalers have played a crucial role in maintaining the distribution channel between manufacturers and retailers. However, more recently, as the diagram shows, we have seen a number of manufacturers bypass wholesalers in order that they can deliver their produce directly to retailers. So with that in mind, let's look at this distribution channel in more detail by initially asking, what is a retailer? A retailer is an organisation that sells products to customers and therefore is the final point in the distribution chain. How they operate is by purchasing multiple products from either a wholesaler or directly from manufacturers, which they then display in their shop for sale. Okay, so with that in mind, let's ask, what are the advantages of delivering directly to retailers? Perhaps the biggest reason a manufacturer has for delivering directly to a retailer is that it is more profitable. This is because by removing the wholesaler from the chain, a manufacturer does not need to sell their product at such a large discount anymore, meaning they will make more profit as they can charge retailers a higher price. A second advantage of distributing directly is that a manufacturer will be able to offer faster delivery than a wholesaler, which can be incredibly important if the product being delivered is perishable. This is because the sooner such products get to a retailer, the longer they will have to sell them before the use-by date, which of course will help sales. However, even if the product is not perishable, a manufacturer may still decide to deliver direct to a retailer as it gives them more control over which stores stock their product. This can be so important because it allows a manufacturer to better regulate the image and promotion of their product, which can be vital in achieving high sales and loyal customers. In fact, direct delivery to retailers also helps a manufacturer in another way, in that they will be able to get direct feedback on how the product is selling and what customers think of it. This is really useful as such information will allow a business to not only modify its product where required, but also alter how many it makes so it is more in line with levels of demand. And finally, delivering direct to a retailer can be beneficial for customer service reasons as well. This is because retailers offer convenience, as it is easy for a customer to pop into a shop, but also, whilst in the shop, they can demonstrate the product and afterwards provide after-sales support, which all helps sales. Okay, let's now turn to look at the disadvantages of delivering directly to retailers. The biggest disadvantage of delivering directly to retailers is that a manufacturer will have to spend considerable amounts of money on delivery. For example, a fleet of lorries, insurance, fuel and drivers will all have to be paid for. More than that though, administration costs will also increase as the manufacturer will now have to process orders for multiple retailers rather than a single wholesaler. As such, and as you would expect, profits would be adversely affected by both of these factors. However, the problems do not end there, as although the wholesaler has been cut out of the distribution chain, the manufacturer will still have to sell their product at a discount to the retailer, so that when they sell it onto the customer, they can make a profit. In fact, sometimes a manufacturer may have to provide a big discount to persuade a retailer to place a large order that gets them into lots of their shops. And of course, once in a shop, a manufacturer will have to accept that they will face competition from similar products that the retailer sells, which could negatively affect sales, especially if the retailer positions the other products more favourably. Okay, so far we have looked at retailers in a fairly general way. So let's now go into a little more detail by asking, what types of retailers are there? Although there are a huge variety of retailers, most can be classified into one of 5 categories. For example, one of the most common are high street retailers, which are shops set up near the centre or on the high street of a city or town. Many retailers choose to do this as large numbers of people are attracted to city centres to visit the wide range of shops available, meaning high sales can be achieved. Moreover, because public transportation links into city centres are often good, it has made it not only convenient for shoppers to visit, but also for employees to get to their work. Nevertheless, it does need to be remembered that many shoppers prefer to travel by private car, which can cause an issue for city centre shops, as with only limited space available, they are usually unable to provide parking. In fact, when this is coupled with the cost of rent, which can be very expensive in city centre locations, it can be seen why many businesses have decided instead to locate out of town at a retail park or a shopping mall. One of the big advantages of this, as you may have experienced, is that out of town retailers can provide easy access for customers, as large car parks are connected to them and regular bus services stop there. Better yet, because there is so much space, many businesses are able to set up large stores containing more products, which helps improve sales. Especially given retail parks and malls attract so many people, as other leisure facilities such as cinemas, bowling alleys and food courts are often also part of the complex. Having said that, rents can still be quite expensive at such locations, and given the number of shops, competition can be fierce. An alternative type of retailer, and one which has been around for a long time, is what is called a local store. These are shops which operate out of small units in local communities and are either independently owned or increasingly smaller versions of major supermarkets. A big advantage of such retailers is that they offer customers huge convenience because they are located close to where they live, meaning they can pop down to pick up items they have run out of without having to travel to a big supermarket. This of course can create a large group of loyal customers, which helps sales. But more than that, as such shops face little competition, they can also charge slightly higher prices, meaning profits will be good. However, as local stores can only offer a limited selection of products, it is unlikely customers will do their main shop there, especially as the prices will be higher. On the other hand, another type of retailer that does cater for all of a customer's needs, as they offer such a wide selection of products, fantastic prices and plentiful car parking, is a supermarket. However, as such stores are so large and offer so much product variety, they can be complicated to run in terms of inventory management. Moreover, as they are usually located on the outskirts of a town and are often busy, they can miss out on customers who only want to purchase one or two items. Okay, so that leaves us with our last main type of retailer, which is being increasingly used by businesses, and that is to move either the whole or a significant part of their business onto the internet by setting up an e-commerce shopping site online. One of the main reasons for this has not just been that the costs of running an online store are lower than a physical store, but that huge numbers of customers prefer the convenience of internet shopping. Nevertheless, locating online does come with costs. For example, a business will require a large warehouse from where it can distribute its products, and it will have to make sure the procedures in place to deliver products are strong and reliable. Otherwise, customer service will be affected. Okay, so what did we learn in this presentation? Well, first of all, we found out what a retailer is. Then we went on to investigate the advantages and disadvantages of using retailers in product distribution. And then finally, we explored different types of retailer. Retailers play an important role in the distribution of products to customers. Nevertheless, as we will find out in the next presentation, some manufacturers have decided that there is an even more effective way of distributing products to customers, and have decided to not only cut out wholesalers, but retailers as well. This alternative approach, which is referred to as direct selling, has become increasingly popular in recent years.